Hello and welcome to Monday Morning Zoom. We are actually going to continue on with our NCCT little packet that we started reviewing. So let's share the screen. Again, this is not going to be a long video or a Zoom class because I want us to take this in smaller portions and really get nailed into it. Okay, so number 16, a patient is referred to a specialist by the primary care provider. Pre-certification is required for this patient's specialty visit. Which of the following actions is required by the insurance and coding specialist to obtain authorization? And we had answered this, guys, before I pushed record, so I had to go back and push record. But the answer is C, contact the patient's insurance provider, because that's where we get our authorization or our pre-certification. It's from the insurance provider. Okay, so let's move to number 17. When submitting a request for a pre-authorization, the billing and coding specialist should wait until the procedure has been completed so that the codes are correct. The word pre means before, right? So A wouldn't make any sense. You can't wait till after. Submit codes for any scenario that may arise during the procedure. Well, that one makes a little more sense. Let's read on. Not code anything higher than the procedure that is expected to be done. Submit the request as close to the date of service as possible. So which do you think is,
I would say B.
B. B is the right answer. Now, C wasn't bad and D wasn't bad, but B is the most correct answer. Submit codes for any scenario that may arise during the procedure. So, for example, if you're having your gallbladder out, but they're afraid that your appendix are bad, you may add appendix into that pre-certification so that, you know, it will cover everything once they get in there. You won't be determining that. The doctor will. But, you know, that's good. He's going to be looking at when you have to send in a pre-auth or an authorization. He's going to look at everything he might need to do, and he's going to give you that information to give to the insurance company. So it's not like you're going to say, Miss Smith, I wonder if you need your appendix out. Of course not. You're just handling the paperwork of that. But the doctor will actually tell you what to get pre-certified or what you need to get authorized. Okay, let's go to number 18. Which of the following is likely to be a cause for delay in receiving prior approval for a procedure or service from the insurance company? The procedure submitted is not included on the policy. The date of service is not far enough in the future. The resident performing the procedure is not credentialed. The service will take longer than normal. Let's look at A. The procedure submitted is not included on the policy.
That's what I was thinking, but the other one's questioning.
Yeah, the other ones are not bad answers, like they're not ridiculous or anything, but let's look at them. The date of service is not far enough in the future. You know, that wouldn't, because I can give an authorization right there, right? So if they call the day before, what about emergency surgeries? And, you know, and stuff like that, they have to get those authorizations pretty quick. So that is not something we have to, that's not right. The residents performing the procedure is not credentialed. They're not going to be asking for a pre-auth if they're not credentialed. That's kind of, that doesn't make any sense at all. The service will take longer than normal. How can we know that until we get in there, right? So the best answer is A. The procedure submitted is not included on the policy. Okay. Which of the following statements is true about pre-authorization? It guarantees payment by the payer for treatment of surgical services. It guarantees payment by the patient for treatment of surgical services. It only pertains to medical necessity and is not a guarantee of payment. Or D, it only pertains to the assignment of benefits and is not a guarantee of payment. So let me
D?
ask, what?
Would it be D?
D?
Uh-huh.
Let's talk a little bit about it. Well,
Okay.
first of all, I want to remind you guys that pre-authorization is not a guarantee. So we can strike A and B out of there automatically because pre-certifications, they are not a guarantee. So C says it only pertains to medical necessity and is not a guarantee of statement. It only pertains, okay, here's the difference, Abigail. Good morning, Stacy. It's this little bit here. It only pertains to the assignment of benefits. That's not correct. It only pertains to medical necessity because can a surgeon, can a doctor or surgeon, whoever, can they do a medical procedure without medical necessity?
No.
They cannot. Medical necessity is so important. So the answer is going to be, it only pertains to medical necessity and is not a guarantee of payment. So let me ask you, let me say it again, or I'm going to say true or false. Pre-certification is not a guarantee of payment. True or false?
True.
Pre-authorization is not a guarantee. Okay, so number 20. A pre-certification is an approval from the insurance carrier to perform a service, a letter recommending treatments for a patient with a congenital disease, proof that a patient has insurance coverage such as a card or letter. D, guarantee of payment for a specified service. Well, we know D is not right automatically because it says guarantee, and we know pre-certification is not a guarantee. So proof that a patient has insurance coverage such as a card or letter, does that make sense?
Yes.
So pre-certification is proof that a patient has insurance. I mean, it could be, but I'm not looking at that as being our best answer.
Okay.
Let's look at B. A letter recommending treatments for a patient with a congenital disease. That one's out completely too, right?
Right.
Let's look at A, an approval from the insurance carrier to perform a service.
That's what it is, huh? You have to get approved to be able to do a service?
Well, if you want the insurance to pay.
Yeah.
So the answer is A, an approval from the insurance carrier to perform a service. Proof that a patient has insurance coverage. You know, I can see where you would automatically think, because if you don't have insurance coverage, then why would you get a pre-certification? You know, so I can see where you would think, well, maybe, you know, that could be it. But in this case, it's an approval. Remember that word, approval. Number 21, under which of the following circumstances does a patient need a referral from their PCP? Remember our HMO, PPO? Are we ready for a woman's well exam? If the insurance plan is a PPO, if the insurance plan is an HMO for Medicare insurance.
Yeah, I'd have to go to my notes because I have it written down right here. For some reason, these ones will not stick to me.
Well, I have to use my visual. HMO, PCP, referral. And I don't know why my brain remembers that, but it just does. I don't know. Stacy, do you know?
See,
For Medicare insurance?
I ain't got my glasses on. I can't find them. The ferrets took them.
Is that better?
No, I said C.
C, you're right. Well, y'all, I've been making us struggle to see this when I could have made it bigger all along. So this is better. The answer
Yeah, that's
is
right.
C,
It is C, yeah.
HMO. Very well done. In an HMO, plan members are required to obtain a referral to a specialist from their primary care physician, PCP, attending physician, consulting physician, or rendering physician.
A?
Say A.
A, they're PCP. You might recognize some of these questions because when I did our little lecture and teaching videos on this is where I got the questions from.
That's how I remembered that question.
Number 23, which of the following physicians typically requires a referral with an HMO or a POS policy? Primary care provider, anesthesiologist, cardiologist, or a pathologist?
Primary care provider.
So that's, you need an
Pathologist.
Okay, let's talk about it. So your PCP, your primary care provider, is the one that sends for a referral. You don't need a referral to see a PCP. So if you're going to get a
Oh.
doctor
Mm.
and you go to a new regular family doctor, you don't have to have a referral. You do if it's a specialist. Okay, so an anesthesiologist, let's talk about what an anesthesiologist is. That's who you see when you're in the hospital and you're going into a procedure, right? So you don't have to have a referral to see an anesthesiologist. What is a pathologist? When you have your labs drawn, when you have your blood drawn, it goes to the pathologist to be read, right? You don't have to have a referral for that. But a cardiologist is a heart specialist, right? You have to have a referral to see a cardiologist. So the answer is C. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now that we break it down that way?
Yeah, when you broke it down, yes.
Okay, so number 24, a patient who has an HMO insurance policy goes to the urologist's office. Before the urologist will see the patient must have an advanced beneficiary notice, a pre-certification, a prior authorization, or a referral.
A referral.
Does everybody agree?
Yeah.
It's a referral. If y'all don't know HMO and PPO, by the time we go over these things 100 million times, but it's good to practice because it's a skill that you need to practice with. Which of the following insurance types requires a referral from the PCP in order to visit a specialist? I'm not even going to read them.
HMO.
B.
HMO, PCP, referral.
HMO.
HMO, PCP, referral. So it is D, HMO. Number 26, the family physician wants to send the patient to the endocrinologist for management of the patient's newly diagnosed disease. The insurance and coding specialist should submit a request to the insurance company for a
Referral.
For a referral.
Consult.
Yeah, I say A.
Okay. Consults are
No.
done in the hospital.
No, they need a referral to see the endocrinologist.
Transfer? No, we don't use transfer.
The family physician wants to send a patient to the endocrinologist. So he's not in the hospital, so it's not a consult. We're not transferring him anywhere, but we need a referral from the family physician to go to the endocrinologist. Make sense?
Yes.
I love that we get to talk about them like this because I just feel like it makes us more prepared when we can talk about them. Okay, now we're going to do one more and then that's all for today. When a patient fills out an intake form upon registration, when you go to the doctor, you're a new patient and you're filling out all your forms. Which of the following vital information is needed on the form in order for the provider to get proper reimbursement for services? Patient ID and address so that the bill can be sent to the patient. patient's bank account information with consent to withdraw visit costs at time of service. Sorry, I have to laugh at that one. Insurance information and a copy of the card so that the claim can be sent to the insurance carrier. An attached letter from the patient stating she will pay for the services at checkout.
C.
See,
C. Luckily, that's the only one that really made a lot of sense in this scenario,
Right.
right? So again, like I said, we're going to be going through these slowly. I want you to be able to kind of digest what we talked about. Maybe this week before we have continue our review, brush up on referral, brush up on HMO, brush up on PPO. You can see how much of that's going to actually be on your exam. And these are just sample questions. I don't know how much more complicated they get. So those things we keep seeing over and over and over again, you know, they're going to be there. So just brush up on those. So Stacy, did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, been a little under the weather. COVID's going around at my work again, so I've been feeling a little sick. I don't have it. I tested negative, but just been feeling a little, which is
Yeah.
why I ain't been on much.
Yeah. And you know, COVID is going around really bad again right now. It's really
Mhm.
pretty bad.
And I work at a casino, and they don't care if